Yeah, and it sounds really cliche. Oh, they're not failures. They're like learning. Yes, but they are.
It feels like failure at this point in time.
And it can feel. There's moments where some things felt embarrassing. Put something out there, and you've not had any interaction with it or something.
Yeah.
But having been through that, I think my embarrassment levels have changed now. Now, like when I do things and they don't land, it's not like I don't notice it. It just doesn't hit me like the way things used to like hit me.
Welcome to Awaken the Ripple, the podcast that provides practical tips through real and honest conversations to help you unlock your purpose, ignite positive change within you, whilst empowering you to create ripples of impact throughout the world. In our Season of Doing series, we're continuing conversations with this one entitled Build As You Go. This episode is about starting before you feel absolutely ready, learning as you move and trusting that progress doesn't need perfection, something I definitely need to do more of in my life. My guest today embodies this beautifully. Sharandeep Salh of Your Deep Self is an Ayurvedic health practitioner, a hypnotherapist, and a transformational life coach committed to empowering and creating real change for her clients. Through her work, Sharandeep supports people in understanding their mind, body, and consciousness using tailored hypno-coaching programs and Ayurvedic services to help them reconnect with themselves and move forward with intention. So, buckle up and let's listen. So, Sharandeep, are you ready?
I am. Thank you so much.
Yay, thank you for being here. For the audience, I met Sharandeep back in 2018, beginning of 2019. You were an accountant, and then we reconnected at the end of last year, and you were doing something completely different. So, walk me through as to when you realized that you needed to go through this change, because obviously a lot has changed.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here as well, to start with. So when we met, I was going through a transformation process during that time. So there was no overnight big traumatic thing that made me, this is, what I'm doing. It was a sequence of various different things. I was going through a transformation, and it was over a long period of time, probably a couple of years before then, when my work changed. I was working in New York. I was working in finance full time. I had a whole life set up there, and that contract came to an end. I guess I made some really big decisions then, because I had the opportunity to continue working with that company in, a different way. And I said no to that.
Wow.
But not because of some great big realization that, this is it now. Okay. It was more like a quiet whispering that, something needs to change.
Oh my gosh, that really hit me.
But sometimes something, happens in your life, and it gives you the space, I think.
Yes.
To see something different than what you are already and what is happening already, and maybe what your vision for the future is.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can only do that when we have a bit of space.
100%.
I feel then our light can shine a bit brighter on seeing what we're seeing. And so that happened at that time when I left New York and I came back to the UK. But I tried to pivot somewhat. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I tried to make changes to the industry that I was working in, exactly what I was doing on a day-to-day. Things didn't really land. And then I was like, okay, maybe the universe is just telling me this is what you're meant to be doing. I've been working with that company for, I think, about 8 years. I've been working in that industry for, many years before that as well. Maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so then I did. I worked in London still as an accountant. That kind of came to an end. And then I'm like, surely now, I guess, well, maybe
surely the
now.
Universe. Come on, universe. Yeah, come on.
Because the whisper was still there.
Yeah.
And I'd say, the work that I've done on myself kind of started around that time and post that, to be honest. Then, okay, again, right now I need to do something. No, it wasn't a need to do something different. I was like, I just had this energy of feeling something different. So then I started to study. I started studying as a transformational life coach. That work, not really knowing at that time what I was going to do with it. I mean, the word own business was not really in my vocabulary for myself, you know. But I knew I wanted to kind of do something different and support people, tap into skills that I believe I had, and I felt like I could kind of, grow. And then I think, fast forward maybe a year and a half, a couple of years, like we met. And in that time, I was still doing this transformation piece, but then doing some accounting contracts in the middle, to keep myself going, like financially and things like that. But each step that I've done, like since then, hasn't really been planned. And so when you say like build as you go, yeah, that's exactly what I did. It's exactly what I'm doing even now. And I don't know if it will ever stop.
Absolutely love that. I liked what you said before, and it reminds me of the conversation that we had in the episode that we had before, where James spoke about he was on the tube and there was the announcement of your next stop is blah, blah, blah. At that point in time, he thought to himself, is this what my life is going to be like for the next 40, 50 years? And he decided, okay, something needs to change. And he actually left the UK to give himself that space. So between the both of you, there are similarities going on here, right? There's that gut instinct, that whispering with internally that something needed to change. But at the same time, you gave yourself that space to do that. And then you started trying different things out, just to figure out, is this what I'm meant to be doing? And it feels as though like you're on this navigational journey of truly aligning with yourself, right?
That's
Would you say that?
Yeah. And that journey is never ending, you know, and people talk about finding your purpose and all of that, but part of our purpose is finding our purpose. Even, finding what we are aligned with and what does feed us and what does bring us joy and all of those things. But, to sometimes like a really, all the time actually, to a very deep level as well. And so like the coaching, at one point I did set that business up then as your deep self, and that's what I'm doing. I'm coaching people. Then I came across hypnotherapy. I didn't plan that. I literally just met with a training college and I was like, oh, this could be really interesting, and how, this could really be aligned with what I'm doing, and it's like another angle to help people with and all of that. And all of a sudden, I'm a certified hypnotherapist and I'm combining this work, And then the next step, Ayurveda was always there. I grew up with it. And at some point, I had thought, I'd like to learn this, formally. Did I plan when I was going to do that, or how I was going to do that, or where I was going to do that, how I was going to fund it, all of that? No. But again, that just, when it happened, it just happened. And all of a sudden, I'm there, I'm studying, I went into full-time study again to do that. It became clear that, no, this is aligned with what I'm doing. This all actually works.
100%.
And so then, your deep self is what it is today, but all these little steps that have got it there. But no big fat plan at the beginning.
No, it was based off of what you needed internally. It sounds as though, right? Because I don't want to put like words in your mouth. It sounds as though you were trying to find that internal alignment yourself. Your body was whispering something, and you had to go on that journey. You had to almost scratch that itch, check in with that nudge, that needed attention. And for me, it just sounds beautifully lined up because you were trying to align with yourself, and the work that you're doing helps people to become fully aligned. Mind, body, consciousness. That's the trio, the holy trio, right? I think it's perfect.
And it's interesting because sometimes when you're at that any point in time, you think, I've got it now. This is what I'm doing. I'm a hypno coach. That's what I do.
That's, I just hypnotize people.
It's the end, but there is no end.
And there shouldn't be, right? In a way, it should be a constant journey of growth and becoming like fulfilled and learning new things, about ourselves because we're so intricate.
And that journey of growth, that is all of this finding your way. And, coming across something new and trying that or whatever. That is the growth. Do you know what I mean? Like the times when we're feeling uncertain. That's when something evolves out of that.
100%.
It doesn't evolve out of just sitting there being complacent or happy or
exactly.
whatever. Yeah.
You know, by us, when these things come up, it allows us to dig deeper into ourselves and understand ourselves a little bit better. Trying to figure out what's triggering this. Were there like past traumas, you know, that sort of thing. And it just helps with our never-ending journey and growth, you know, throughout life.
But only if we step into it.
Only if we step into it and not ignore it.
Because it's not like that wasn't there for the first, I don't know, like 30 years of my life, right? It was always there.
Yeah.
But, you know, what I talked about, having the space for it.
Yes.
Or giving the space for it as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it takes a lot of different things, but there's like an openness is needed, right?
Yes.
For us to kind of step into that, and you know that people can get very comfortable where they are.
We all do.
And it doesn't have to be a bad space that you're comfortable in. It could be a good space too, but that's not to say that there's something else out there still.
100%.
So
I love that. So it's almost like how openness allowed for this new path that opened up for you. I love it. Absolutely love it. When you started building your deep self alongside everything else, what did that stage actually look like for you in a day-to-day kind of basis?
Not like the days that I'd had previously. Say that.
Completely
different. It wasn't. No, because I mean, you know, in all my working life, I'd always been in employed work.
Yeah.
You're told what to do. Yes, there's a level of autonomy as you know, you move through different roles and things like that. But, you know, you're pretty much told where you have to be. And now I was there doing my own thing. Yes. So yes, it needs a lot of discipline as well.
Yeah, I can
but
imagine.
It's just, there's a lot of experimenting because you don't know what works until you try things.
100%.
So whether it was like in my day-to-day or whether it was what I'm actually doing in my business, what that's looking like, what the services that I'm going to offer are going to look like, it was all experiments.
I love it. Yeah.
Right. Let me try this. And some of that I can say now because I'm reflecting back on it. In the time, like when I launched my first, you know, coaching program or whatever, I might have thought, no, I didn't might have thought, I did think, that's it. That's my coaching program.
Right.
That's what I offer to people. You know, that's what they will come to me for. That's what I will provide. And that's going to be, you know, my business at that point. But that's evolved so many times since then, you know, whether I've added to it or I've changed the structure or, you know, the way I work, the length of time, all of those things.
Yes.
So it's always been experimenting. And even the work that I do in the pure Ayurveda work that I do, and I, you know, talk to my clients about this, it's trial and error what we're doing because we understand that we're all different in mind and body. I don't know for 100%, and no one does, whether if I make a suggestion to you, what effect that's going to have. But you know what? We're going to try it and we're going to learn, and then we're going to listen to see what your body tells us off the back of that. And that's how that work aligns with, you know, a person, a body, a client, a soul. And that's exactly what I did during my transformation, you know, in creating my business. And as I say, will probably continue to happen as well. And I don't think we can like skip that part of development or, you know, evolution. It has to be done. There's no right or wrong way in how or when it is done.
Yes.
It's what worked for me. And I may have had advice at certain times where, you should have a plan laid out of where do you want to be here and then, whatever. That scared me, to be honest with you.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Yeah.
I don't even know where I see myself tomorrow.
Exactly. My answer would be like, happy. You know, that's what, you know, whatever, that's what I want.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's allowing that, you know, to see what comes and being open to those things.
I love it. What I'm getting from what you just said was that it was all about experimenting, trial and error, nothing being linear.
Yes.
And I think sometimes even with people in their careers, they're just thinking, okay, I am at this level right now, so in the next year or so, I need to be here. And if you're not there, something's wrong with you. And I think what I'm getting from you is that allow almost like the squiggle, allow for at the pivots and just trying out different things, because if you don't try, then you won't know what's aligned with you, you know. And it definitely felt as though you did the life coaching, and then that opened up doors with the hypnotherapy. And then obviously you started to see like the whole alignment with your background, natural kind of like background in Ayurveda. So it definitely felt as though the more you started pivoting, things just kind of naturally started aligning. So I think that's basically the message I'm getting.
And when I was in it,
Yeah.
it didn't necessarily feel like that. And I kind of want to make that point that, yes, it's nice having that wisdom when you've come through it.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? And that, oh, yeah, it's okay. But it's also like knowing, or, you know, if I can share that it felt hard, you know, during that experimenting phase.
Yeah.
You know, you might call them failures where things didn't quite work. You know, maybe I kind of was going to host a workshop and I didn't get many people signing up, you know, or I post some content on my Instagram, you know, and we've talked about this, but it didn't quite land. It didn't get the engagement that I was kind of hoping for. And, you know, sometimes you think, oh, yeah, this is going to be a good one. And it's like, you know, you spent
it isn't.
you spend so much time on it and you're like, this is going to be brilliant. 100%. People are really going to connect with this, and, you know, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So just to say that so those times will happen.
Yes.
It's never the end of the world.
No,
it's
100%.
Just not.
It's just an opportunity to just tweak, learn, grow.
Exactly.
And move on to the next.
Yeah. And it sounds really cliche. Oh, you know, they're not failures. They're like learning. Yes, but they are.
It feels like failure at this point in time.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, no, it can feel, there's moments where some things felt embarrassing almost, you know, like if you put something out there and, you know, you've not had any interaction with it or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I having been through that, I think my embarrassment levels have changed now.
Okay, tell me about how your embarrassment levels have changed.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe less things embarrass me. I don't know how to explain this. So yes, I did stuff in, you know, as I've been building Your Deep Self where, things didn't quite land. Yeah. I did feel embarrassed or maybe failure, you know, that, okay, this isn't working. You know, you're not cut out for this, imposter syndrome, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, like when I do things and they don't land, it's not like I don't notice it or something goes, you know, quote unquote wrong, but I just don't see it as the end of it. Just doesn't hit me like the way things used to like hit me.
Yeah.
And, you know, I do like acting work now as well.
Yes, I do
so many different things that I'm, you know, I end up in situations that I've not got any preparation for, not got any experience with, but like I'm okay with it if it doesn't like turn out like I was expecting.
It makes a lot of sense. It's almost like you're just going with the flow now, and it just sounds as though you've become so open to anything and you're just willing to try. If it fails, then it's not the end of the world. Like you're still trying to live your best life, you know?
Yeah.
So it just sounds as though you've gotten to this level of contentment.
Yeah. And all of that finding is the growth, right? And having been through something where there has been those, failures or embarrassments or whatever, and know that I've come through it and I'm really happy with where Your Deep Self is.
Yes.
You just know that you can do that. So it's okay if, you know, you make mistakes in trying something new now,
100%.
because you know it will end up getting to where it needs to get to.
Yes.
And in a place of alignment with you.
And do you feel happy like with everything that you've done so far? Like, tell me about the acting. How did you manage to fall into that?
Random, really random. It's just
random. Like how? Did someone see you on the street and was like, Sharandeep, you have the face to be on TV?
I wish. That would be so validating.
Tell me, how did it happen?
I saw a casting call and I had spare time as a resource at that time. This was in 2023.
Okay.
And
so not so long ago.
Not that long ago. No, just over 2 years ago. And I was like, oh, let's, you know, try this out. And I just loved it.
Hang on, wait, pause. Did you go to acting classes before? Like,
no.
what's your acting experience before 2023?
I don't even know if I did GCSE drama. I don't know if I did it.
Okay, so there's a
school.
Okay, school.
Yeah.
So you were in a play at school?
Yeah, I've done plays at school. I did drama class at school. Nothing extracurricular. Just, what we had to do.
Okay. And then there's this notification, casting call.
Yeah.
And Sharandeep is like,
let's
go.
Let me try that.
Let's go.
We've got some time this
As you
month
do.
or whatever. Yeah. And you know what? And I just enjoyed that. It was only 4 days that I was shooting for that project.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. I liked this whole lights, camera,
action.
all
Let's
of
go.
this stuff. I loved seeing how everything would just come together.
Yeah.
And everyone had their little part that they did to make, something, wonderful at the end of it.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed it. And even after I did that, I didn't think I was going to become an actor, to be honest with you. It was only, I've talked to people, I did this last month. It was really cool. And then all of a sudden, I'm speaking to actors and my network is expanding and I'm seeing new opportunities and this whole openness that I, talked about.
Yes.
Saying yes to something, that feels good. Let me just try it. There's no harm, right?
What's the worst that could happen?
Exactly. It doesn't work or, whatever, then that's fine. That will be a learning as well.
Yes.
So it's that whole willingness, I guess, to step into something.
Yes.
But yeah, that side of what I do was nowhere near on the agenda. I was a really shy teenager for a start. Yeah, very. And then, in corporate life, you have to be out there running meetings and blah, 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 all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I did what I did. But I didn't know that I would be performing at any point in time.
Wow.
But the openness has allowed me to see that.
It's paid off.
Well, yeah, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love my Your Deep Self work. I love, the acting work. it's...
So, obviously, you've done a lot of great work on Your Deep Self. Walk me through, and I know you spoke about the content side of things and how it can be hard. What do you think has been the hardest moment along the way when you're trying to build your deep self, but trying to keep yourself steady and keep going?
What's been the hardest part of that is the ego and the embarrassment part that we kind of touched upon.
Okay.
More so when I had maybe made a bigger announcement to the world that this is what I was doing.
Okay.
Which was, after we'd met actually. So although I'd been coaching then and doing the hypnotherapy and all of that stuff, it was kind of through word of mouth and things like that. I didn't have an online presence or anything.
Right.
But when I did have the online presence, as much as that felt good, that, I'm owning it now, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It felt like there was some kind of pressure, if you like, because you've almost committed and announced to the world.
Yes.
But you're not necessarily seeing it being a success or whatever that would look like.
Yeah.
So that part was probably the more difficult part of the transformation. It's kind of the bit in the middle, I guess. And then how would I steady myself? Try and not listen to those voices of fear and anxiety and, imposter syndrome, all of that. It comes up. It still comes up, of course. It's not like, I'm this, enlightened person now and, nothing can touch me. Of course not.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
a human.
Yeah. It seems as though you're getting a lot of pleasure along the way. So yes, we're still human, but it sounds as though you're learning not to be dependent on that external validation, but more how you're feeling on the inside based off what you're doing. What do you think?
That sounds accurate. And how to get through that, because you were asking about how to, I guess, remain steady within that and, not listening to those voices where you're needing that validation or the fear and all of that is, like you said, kind of focusing inwards, right? So that would be my own practice, whatever I would do for myself. So I don't journal all the time, But when I know I need to, I'm journaling.
I love that. Yeah.
For my own reflection,
Yes.
I'm doing that. I'm speaking to people, getting my own like coaching or therapy. I have my own practices, my breathing practices that I do.
Okay, I love that.
Making sure I stay in healthy routines. What I know works for me, what I know grounds me from an Ayurvedic perspective. A lot of the uneasiness, uncertainty, the fear, the anxiety, that's an energy that we would call Vata energy. And so I would try and pacify that with grounding exercises, with breathing practices, things like that, knowing that that's elevated right now. I need to calm that down to bring myself back into balance.
Yes.
And when you're in balance, then everything will, flow more freely and openly, whether it's your mind or your body, how your body's reacting to something.
I love the fact that you go back to what does my body need to then get back to that level of steadiness. So it's the journaling, taking those thoughts from out of your brain, putting it on paper, reading it back, reflecting on it. And then from what you're saying, breathing, which definitely helps with anxiety levels, and we're eating like the right sort of foods that help
100%,
in, reducing those anxiety that just, I could be getting this wrong, but it sounds as though like with anxiety it builds up an internal fire. So it's almost like trying to keep the fires at bay or probably cooling it down a little bit. So the body isn't out of sync. It's getting to that level of balance. I love it.
Yeah. And having that compassion there for yourself as well, that it's okay to be feeling that, those things. Like, you said, we might have these expectations or the way we've kind of been conditioned to need validation since we were a child, right? So it's okay to feel that even now. Like, we're not, that's how we're built. And it's kind of accepting that almost. And then having kindness to yourself that you're feeling that. And then, but just thinking, okay, so how am I going to work with that now?
What do I need right now to get back into balance? Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So it's those moments that stretches us and often shapes us the most, and they tend to change how even we see ourselves. So how has this journey changed you or the way you see yourself?
Oh, how do I see myself? How have I changed? Sounds cliche, but I'm stronger.
Love it. Girl.
Yes. You are all these things that we've talked about so far. They have made me stronger. They've also made me softer, I would say, as well. Whether that's mainly towards myself, because maybe that's what was needed, I would say, to be softer with myself. So the compassion. So it's okay to be feeling like a certain way. Knowing how to reframe things. So that's something that I've learned to do.
Walk me through what you mean by that, reframing things.
So, for example, if you're feeling uncertainty, which I have done in my journey, in the journey of your deep self, oh, is this right? Should I be doing this? In the experimental phase which is ongoing. Reframing that as, well, it doesn't mean it's a failure. It doesn't mean you're failing if you're feeling uncertain, if you're feeling unsure. What is that? It can be seen as growth. So we can reframe that as growth because you're figuring things out. Your path is being unfolded as you do that. So let's reframe uncertainty as unfolding. And it's so much more positive.
100%.
So most of my Ayurvedic training was with Dr. Ladd at the Ayurvedic Institute. And something that he mentions quite often, I used to love it, I would always scribble it down whenever he said it, was like, through confusion comes clarity.
Okay, that's deep. Through confusion comes clarity.
We won't get that clarity unless we
go through it.
And like, and you sit with it and you face it. Because the confusion's always there. Like I said, it was always there in the previous 20 years, whatever. But it's not till you kind of step into it, you look into it, that you will get the answer. Even if you're at school, you've got a question to answer. You're not going to get to the answer unless you attempt that, right? So we have to step into it, step into that question, step into the confusion, step into the uncertainty to get somewhere. Wherever that somewhere is. But to get there, we've got to go through something. So Just
Step into the confusion, guys, to get to clarity. I love it.
It's the only way. It's the only way.
Yeah. So you've gotten softer with yourself, just being a little bit kinder and just reformatting things as your life has been unfolding.
Yeah.
Love it.
Definitely. And that feels like a much calmer place to be.
Yeah. How you phrase it that allows for this openness for discovery or rediscovery of self, which we are on this journey of. We're here for a limited period of time. And as we would go to different parts of the world, surely we should be diving deep to figure out more about ourselves so we can be our best selves. In the
And
world.
that's not for anyone else necessarily. That's your own identity that you have of yourself.
Thanks
and
for
how
saying that.
you see yourself.
You're right.
Yes, there is that element, and especially in the world that we live in today with social media, and we're building businesses and we're getting out there, all of that stuff. But really, at the end of the day, you're finding yourself. You're creating your own identity for yourself. And with my journey so far, that calmer, softer, stronger woman is becoming my identity, or I'm starting to align with it, however you want to see it.
I love it. So if you were writing a love letter to your younger self, seeing as you've experienced so much now, what would you want her to know to prepare her for building as she goes along?
That's such a nice question. I should probably write this letter. Actually, we should all probably write this letter, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
And maybe we need to write this letter like every year or something, because things are always changing. But to answer your question, what would I write to her? That you don't have to rush. You don't have to rush. You're not late to anything. You're not behind in this walk in the world or in this race in the world. It's all, this is you're unfolding. That's what you're doing. And so I would want her to trust the process. And and we're writing this letter because we have wisdom and we're looking back and we can share to trust the process. And I feel like in my acting journey, which has come afterwards, these teachings that I would write to my younger self, I'm using those now.
I love that.
So as much as I might give this advice to someone, and I know it can be hard to get that and grasp that, but I'm trying to share that I'm using that stuff now. Not that I just used it then and I've got that wisdom to share from it, but I'm using it in this next chapter, this next these new things that I'm trying now, and it's working for me. So I kind of know that's good advice now. Do you know what I mean? And I know that it's advice that can be used. And yes, I learned it because of something that I went through, but now I'm recreating that, but in a completely different world. And it's not feel very lost in something new that I've stepped into, like I did when I was transforming your deep self. And I have transformed your deep self, but let's reframe. Let's use the reframe. Let's not see it as being lost. Let's seeing it as you're listening, you're observing, you're learning, you're seeing, you're hearing, you're feeling of whatever you're doing at any point in time, whatever age that I'm writing to, younger Sharandeep. That's what you're doing. You're listening, and that's only a good thing.
100%. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. Your journey has been so honest, so open. So experimental. Before we wrap up, where can our viewers find you on social media?
Oh, they can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Your Deep Self. And then my website is www.yourdeepself.com. So any of those places.
Yay.
I look forward to connecting with you.
Sharandeep's story reminds us that building doesn't require having everything figured out. It requires presence, trust, and the courage to keep moving. To anyone listening, if you're waiting to feel ready before you start, this is your reminder. Clarity often comes through action, not before it. So until next time, keep doing, keep growing, and keep awakening the ripple within you.
Lovely. Thank you.
Oh, you're starting to do that. So beautiful. That was so good.
Was it okay?
Yeah, it was good. Before we wrap up, Sharandeep, how can our listeners find you on social media?
Oh, yeah. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Your Deep Self. And
Why are you throwing her off?
You can't do that. I tried so hard not to look at you.
I should have done it earlier.
I tried so hard not to look at him. I could see he was doing something. I was like,
You know,
professional.
I should have done that earlier.
Why are you trying to throw it off?
Anyway,
Take
Okay.
three.
So, stop.
No, Ninja, what have you done?
I had this. Okay. Before we wrap up, how can our listeners find you on social media?
Oh God, sorry.
remember, we've already got it.
I don't know.
I don't